Alrighty, well, Jack from Void of Vision, thank you for spending some time today ahead of the monster What I'll Leave Behind tour coming up. And it is a bittersweet reality for a lot of reasons. Obviously, this tour marks the last headline Aussie tour for Void of Vision, but I feel like it has such a beautiful, I don't know, it just feels like a really, really lovely way to finish because the album title, not that anyone thought it was going to happen, there was some hints it was going to happen, but tell me in this very unique moment, how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's a feeling of very, like you said, it's all very bittersweet, and it is a bit strange getting to this point and getting closer to this point now because I think we've had a lot of time to sit with it now. We've made the call, made the decisions, and yeah, as we're getting into the final moments, like everything's planned and we're just doing the last little touches. And I think it's nice happening this far after like we've decided everything because we've actually had time to digest and understand what's going on. And I don't know, it feels a lot more healthy than it did a few more months ago because we've all had the time to process and we've all had the time to kind of, I don't know, look at life as a grand spectre and like think about what comes next. And I don't know, it's nice that everyone has that idea in their head now. So going into this, it is almost a bit more room to celebrate and a bit. It seems like there's a bit more air in the room to breathe in, which is nice. But yeah, it's honestly, it is feeling good, and we're just super ready to end this on a high note. Like you said, like I think the last thing any band wants is to end on a sour note, and to avoid that, I consider we've done very well. Like it's pretty amazing to actually reach this far, and I don't know, still be in such good hands with everything. And there's nothing, yeah, standing in our way, but having a good time now.
Yeah, and I think in that way it's nice to have that not choice in a narrative because obviously no one ever wants something to end and you've had so much that has come before this and so much that has led to it, but it is so nice that there's been able to have this collective moment as a band. And like you said, you now can have it. It's a positive thing. It's not a negative thing. And speaking of positives, we've got a really insane lineup happening alongside this tour. Not only do we get Void of Vision headlining, but we've got GIDEON and UNITYTX from America. We've got KNOSIS from Japan. Stacked kind of doesn't begin to describe this lineup. How did this lineup come to fruition and how pumped are you to close out this chapter supported by three amazing international artists?
Well, I think because initially this tour wasn't always supposed to be the final tour, admittedly, and this was just the next up strong international package that we were going to bring over to the country. And I think I don't know, it's still so cool, like to end it this way because we do have like, this is, I don't know, the way that every next step in Void Vision's touring journey has always been like a step above, a step above, a step above. And if we weren't ending it that way, then what's the point, really? I think this lineup is like absolutely crazy. I think I wanted to make sure it was bands who haven't had that look in Australia. Like in my pre-breakup bands, like this is the idea of like making sure these bands can come over here and break before they do. And I think a couple of them have been kicking for a while, like GIDEON, for example. And I think they really, really deserve like such a massive reception here because I remember seeing them back in 20, like we opened like a local show in Melbourne for them in I'd say 2014. So they've been a band for
Wow.
quite a while, and back then we loved them. Like we were literally just obsessed with how heavy their breakdowns were and just everything about it. We loved that band growing up, and to I don't know have the opportunity to bring them over now, it's kind of like a full circle moment in a way in that sense. Unity TX are probably one of the most underrated bands like in the world right now, in my opinion. Like I don't understand how it's not as big as what they are. Like it's insane to me that they're just not getting the attention they deserve. So I think like showing Australia that is another great thing. And I think it's great also like having I don't know every iteration of fan that we could have possibly made along the way at these events. It gives these bands more exposure to I don't know get out to the masses and like hopefully like leave their mark here as they head overseas and back home. Like it'd be awesome to have them back here in like a year's time and yeah, see where they are because I honestly think it's going to be crazy next time around. And as for Gnosis, it's the craziest band on earth that we're just so lucky to be able to bring over. We did a Europe run with them last year, and it's just crazy. I think Japanese metal artists are just built different, and they are no exception. Rio's a legend of the game, and I think that's another full circle moment for myself too, because it's just crazy to see such a iconic frontman that I've like grown up following through Crystal Lake and now in KNOSIS. It's just wild to see this man like coming over and jumping on our tour to celebrate it one last time. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's an awesome experience, and I'm so glad that we got this lineup together because yeah, we obviously didn't know what this tour was going to be, but I'm very glad that it is with these select people that we have because yeah, it's going to be an absolute huge moment to have.
Yeah, and even more impressive that it wasn't really planned in that vein. So it's an amazing lineup and a very nice note to go out on. And you said full circle moments. Like obviously this Void of Vision journey has been not a short one, but it's been amazing to witness. We've had 4 full-length albums, like well over a decade of incredibly hard work. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, obviously, that comes with it. Headline shows, tours, festivals, you name it. Void of Vision has essentially been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, probably literally in some cases. But hypothetically, to close it out, what would the Jack just coming out of high school and first embarking on this Void of Vision adventure all those years ago think about this moment and what you've achieved?
He would not believe it. Like some of my favorite moments now are involved with venues that we've sold out headlining, and like I don't know, like growing up as a kid going to shows, I never saw, like I definitely wanted what I saw up on stage, but I never knew that with hard work and dedication you could get it. And I think if anything, that's something I can apply to the rest of my life. And if I can pass that down and teach people the same thing, like it's just an amazing ability to be able to go after what you want and get it, because the feeling that you do get when you do get that is just one like no other. And yeah, he would be, I think every little version of me, little version of the other guys in the band, they never would have expected any of this. George literally came over here from Germany and jumped straight into it like as a kid, and to come to a international country and do this, I think putting it all in perspective, like it must be a head trip for everyone, like of what's going on. And yeah, it is a wild thing, and I don't know, I would be a very happy kid to see where I ended up today because yeah, it's I couldn't have dreamt this up. It's actually another beast, so it's awesome to see where it has gotten to.
Well, I just got goosebumps like way too many times during that, but it makes me so happy to hear that. It is such an honor that we all get to share in this moment with you. I know so many fans are so grateful to be able to say farewell in person in February. Thank you for the unforgettable music. Thank you for what you have done for Australian heavy music and heavy music in general. And here is to sending out Void of Vision in style with this tour.
Thank you so much, Tiana, and thank you. I can't wait to fucking send it off with a bang.
Yes, let's go. Thank you, Jack.